Babble Talk is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Basically, welcome on Babble Talk. Thank you for agreeing to do this. It's amazing to have you. Uh,
Oh, that's awesome. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for
yeah,
having me.
and I really was excited to talk to you because you've been acting for a moment now. Like, how long have you been acting? Because I've seen since 2012, something like that, right?
2013, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
when I started my training. That's when I started my training.
Okay. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you have a very interesting name for me because your name is Derrick de. How you pronounce that? De Villiers.
It's I say de Villiers. Some people say de Villiers. So the French like to say de Villiers. My family immigrated from South Africa to Montreal, so
Oh,
in Montreal they say de Villiers. It's got a nicer ring to it too.
yeah.
So that's what I like to say.
Yes, that's why I wanted to because I'm French and I was like De Villiers and I was like, oh, this is because some people they have like this French Canadian heritage, right? But
Right.
they choose to have the American pronunciation. I'm always like, oh my God, do I go with the American or the French one? And it's great that you embrace it, but it's also it must be a nightmare for casting directors. They must be like, oh my God.
It is. Nobody knows how to pronounce it really, so they always butcher it. But it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind. This is memorable.
Absolutely.
Like, who's that guy whose name we can't pronounce?
Yes, exactly. And I thank you again, man, for doing this. And you have a big summer coming. You appear in two major, amazing things. And for me, I know that it's gonna sound weird, but for me, the biggest of the two is Turner and Hooch because I know the 1980s movie, and I know that. Have you met Josh Peck, the lead character on this movie on this show?
Yeah, yeah. We're in the scene together. Actually, I don't interact with him, but he's in the scene that I'm in. So
Yeah,
yeah, he was on set that day that I was like in my scene that I was
yeah,
working. So
yeah.
yeah.
So you were not interacting because of COVID restrictions, or was it like just how you
Um,
felt?
I I think so. And just I don't like to bother those guys too much. Like I don't know what's going on in their head role wise, what they're preparing,
Mm,
So I just kind of like if they want to interact with me and talk to me, then that's cool.
yeah.
But as for that, I just like to let them do their thing, and I understand that process.
Mm,
So yeah, I didn't really say anything to them, but it's
yeah.
cool to be around them.
Yeah. Did you interact with the dog, or was it a CGI dog, or like didn't see the dog at all?
I did. They
Oh,
have 5 dogs on set actually that do that one job. All different. They do a variety of things, like some are bigger, some are smaller. I was actually
oh,
walking out of set after I was done rapping, and I looked over to my left, and I saw the animatronics lady working on the like the animatronics dogs. There's like half
oh.
bodies, and so I went over to her and I was like, "Oh, are those the robots?" And she just looks at me. She's like, "Animatronics, you mean?" I was like, "I was like, yes, animatronics. I meant. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so lame." And she's like, "Yes, essentially they are robots." So then she took me over and she just let me like check them out, and man, that was like Disney magic. I got to see those things look real. I can't even imagine what the cost of those are.
Yeah. Just 5 seconds. I need you to like hold still for 5 seconds because there's a slight delay, and I know Zoom is gonna fix it. Do you hear me? Do you still hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah.
just
You're not.
sorry. No, it was just because there was a slight delay and a little problem, but that's what Zoom does. And I heard your story about the animatronic. These things are really like well made now. Like like I've had the chance of going to the Star Wars Museum back in Paris, and these things are so lively. Like they can move their eyes and squint and do all those things. It's amazing. And wow, like the fact that you got to do that is to see that in real, it must be amazing. Yeah, you talk about Disney stuff, and you're also in Snake Eyes, a GI Joe film, which is for me so awesome. I didn't grow up on GI Joe. I grew up on Mask, which was the
Oh yeah,
off-brand
yeah.
GI Joe stuff.
I
But
remember it. I remember it.
and but I am connected to that franchise, and the cartoons. How was that to learn that you were going to be in a GI Joe movie, in the Snake Eyes movie, especially that it's such a it's everybody's favorite GI Joe character, from what I could gather.
Yeah, well, when I got the audition right away, I was like, my anxiety went through the roof, and I was like, oh my god, GI Joe. Actually, at first I thought I was auditioning for the Snake Eyes character, and so I was like,
Oh,
oh my god, I'm auditioning for Snake Eyes. And then I read my work, and I was like, oh, I'm not Snake Eyes. So but
mm,
at the same time, yeah, I was very grateful to work on it. Like, what an honor and a blessing, like, on a huge franchise. Like, I grew up with these action figures. I have
mm.
paintings on my walls of Snake Eyes and Storm
Oh,
Shadow, my two favorite ninjas. Like, and I was always fascinated by like the kung fu and like ninja world when I was a kid. So those guys were always so cool. So to be able to be an adult and work on a childhood like toy or franchise is like, I don't even know how much better it gets. Like,
yeah.
in my hometown for my first job. Like, yeah, I was blown away.
Wow. Yeah. You shot that in Vancouver?
I did. It was filmed half in Vancouver and half in Japan, and of course, my scene was in Vancouver. Yeah.
Oh, that must be awesome. But that means that Turner and Hooch, you shot that in LA?
No, that was in Vancouver too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That
yeah,
was like 7 minutes from my house. That
oh,
that set was
nice,
like
nice.
so
That's
close.
yeah, that's I've heard that, for Canadian actors, it can be kind of like a problem to having to fly every time to LA and do those things and then audition. I have a couple of actor friends and they've told me that was a huge deal. But yeah, it must be amazing. And did you get to do any physical stuff? Or any like fight sequence? I mean, don't spoil anything, but like any fighty things, or was it just all monologue and text and dialogue?
Yeah, it was just dialogue
Oh,
working with Henry and stuff like that. But I do have lines, and it's very explosive and exciting, and oh man, I just can't wait for everybody to see it. Like, when I saw that trailer, I was like, yeah, I made the movie. I didn't end up on the editing room floor because I filmed it like 2 years ago. So
oh
it's been a long time of waiting, and then the first trailer came out, and I didn't see anything, and but I
mm,
saw this one. I was like, oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'm in it. They in it.
You must have
Made the
sent it
cut.
to everyone, like, look at this. Or were you more like, wait, I'm gonna just handle this. I'm just gonna internalize this, and then when I'm in the movie, I'm gonna like show it everybody. Was that?
Well, I showed a few people. I did like a quick clip on my Instagram, but yeah, I just want to see the movie, because that really doesn't showcase anything. It's just a little clip. I might as well be a background member right now, but yeah, it's going to be exciting. I am
Yeah,
so excited to see it. It's action
yeah.
packed and explosive, and
Yeah, I mean,
it's a
I'm really excited, especially that during this whole COVID stuff. Oh my God, I've been longing to go back to the theater and watch an action movie. And I've watched The Quiet Place, but I'm talking about an action movie with really good fighting sequence, because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like, every genre in the cinema is always so much better represented, I think. And I'm just so excited to see and watch this movie, and I bet you're gonna be awesome in it. But just a quick, I wanted to talk about something that you said, bounce back of something that you said. You said that you shot this movie 2 years ago. So did you have to like keep your involvement secret for like 2 years? Oh
yeah,
my
yeah. I
God.
haven't I haven't been able to say anything. Some people know. Some people, I wasn't even allowed to say what movie it was, and then slowly things came out. Oh man, it's been killing me, man. It's like my best work yet, and I just got to keep it
Oh,
hush hush. Oh
oh my
yeah.
God. Oh my God. This, wow. I mean,
So it's like a roller coaster ride of emotions.
mm,
It's like go stop, go stop. So
yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God. You must be super excited about this whole release. And during those 2 years, like, did they like give you like news about when was the movie was gonna release, or were you completely in the dark?
Well, I would just have to watch the news, basically,
Oh,
and IMDb and Google. And so we were always searching and seeing, and it was supposed to come out like 3 different times, right? Like, and then it was supposed to come out in October of this year, October 23rd or 6th or something like that. And then they moved it up to July. So I didn't know if this was going to be the real date or if they were going to switch it again, but then the trailers started slowly releasing, but I just have to wait like everybody else, I'm sure the main characters probably know more than I do. Right. So
yeah, yeah.
it's
That's
just a waiting game.
yeah. So you've been, and this is another thing why another reason why I was really interested to talking to you is you have an interesting journey into acting, I was told, and I wanted to know more about it. Why did you start acting? How did you start? How did that idea pop in your mind?
Um, Well, I've always been a fan of what I really have been addicted to and grew up on was like music videos.
Mm,
Like I love music videos, whether it's for like fashion or I'm a music buff, and I like stories being told through video, I guess, right? So I had a chance in 2012 to go to the American Music Awards in Los Angeles. My friend worked down there, and she gave me an all credentials pass, actually 2 years in a row. So I got to wander around backstage and in the green rooms and everywhere. I got to watch rehearsals for all these amazing A-list stars, and I got to see them in their practice modes, not just when they're
wow.
performing and at their best. So I really was like, oh wow, these are like just normal people who just have amazing jobs and put in the work to do it.
Mm,
And I living in Vancouver, I've known a few people who, they moved to LA or they've got shows here or there. And so I've known it was possible, right? So I just didn't have the means to do it. I didn't think I was in a situation to do that. I didn't think that happened to just regular people. I thought it was just for rich people
mm,
or people who, I don't know, were just extremely lucky or just came from privileged lifestyles or whatever it was. I just didn't think that was for me or for regular Joe. So then I got sick with a chronic illness and I ended up losing a lot of everything in my life, pretty much, including the use of my body. So within that recovery time, I did a lot of soul searching, and I was just like, if I had all the money in the world, what would I do with my life that would give me
mm,
satisfaction? You know what I mean? Because if you have all the money in the world, you still got to do something with yourself, right? You got to occupy your time. You got to fill yourself. You gotta find a purpose. So I reverted back. That kept resonating with me. What did I give up on in my life that I never gave myself that real chance at? And I didn't want to regret. So I started Googling acting classes in Vancouver. I came across the class that I'm in now, which is Deb Acting Studios. I found my coach, Karin Dasova. I thought I was going to take a couple acting classes and I was just spin off and be a Hollywood working actor. I didn't know what the process was. I didn't know what was
yeah.
involved. I just knew what I saw on TV and this, you know what I mean? I didn't know it would take
Mm,
8 years, but I just stayed on my path. I listened to her. She guided me with like, stay in classes, keep doing this. So I stayed every single week, every single month, every single year. You know what I mean? I just went
mm,
hard at it. And I started to really find my passion through it and my personal path and real soul fulfillment through it all, and just self evolution as a person, as an artist, and started doing student film, started doing background work, eventually got an agent, auditioned for 3 years, didn't get anywhere, got another agent where I am now, got my credits in a year. These are all the jobs that I've got, the Charmed, the Turner and Hooch, and the Snake Eyes. I got it all within a year with my new agent. So,
mm.
it's all been a blessing in disguise, and it's been an amazing and miraculous journey. I can't believe I'm doing it. I can't believe I'm here talking to you. I can't believe I'm about to be shown worldwide. It's really it's humbling. And it's gratifying, and
Mm.
it's yeah, it's beautiful.
Honestly, what you're saying is really like talking to me because first of all, I'm also an actor. I mean, I'm in acting school right now, And I started this show because I wanted to talk to working actors, people who work in the industry, and kind of get a sense of their mindset and how what it requires to be a working actor. And during 2020, I kind of had that thing like everybody, where I kind of asked myself those questions: why am I an actor? And thank God that this year happened for me, because it helped me realize a lot of things about acting. False, you believe certain things about yourself that aren't necessarily true. My thing was, I believe that as an actor, I was just not great at some things, and I needed to get out of that habit of like negative thinking, and continue doing the things that I didn't think I was good at. So it's really telling, and the fact that you did that, you went through all that, and those 3 years of like not acting a lot must have been, those 3 years must have been incredibly. um you talked about the fact that you had anxiety. Those 3 years must have been like a hell of like an emotional ride and anxiety. Like, I can't even really describe it. How'd you survive during these 3 years?
Oh, well, you know what? I never, one thing that the nurses and doctors said to me about my recovery with my illness was, Derrick, your attitude is everything. Like, you have the best, you're so optimistic, you're so positive.
Mm.
So I think I just carried that with me. And if I didn't get upset with with that aspect of my life,
Mm.
which is very serious, and if you don't have your health, you don't have anything, like, really, this is really not too much for me to handle, and I was chasing my dreams and your goals. And I think when you're doing that, it's important not to get down on yourself. And that's when people start giving up and folding and bending, and they're like doubting themselves. So I just stayed optimistic. I had my goal and my vision in mind. I knew where I had to get to. I knew these were the growing pains. Some of them weren't going to feel very nice. You know what I mean? But you just suck it up, and you just honor the process.
Mm.
And I just honor the process, honor my coach, trust her, trust the process, and just keep marching, man, and don't give up. And I think that's really what sets people apart from others doing the same thing.
Mm. So you talk about the fact that you're still in contact with your teacher, right? It's your coach now. You're still in contact with her. You still ask her for advice, and you
I
still.
still do Zoom classes. We're doing Zoom classes. I haven't stopped. I do Zoom classes
Wow.
every month since the pandemic started. I haven't stopped yet. Yeah, we do it just like this.
Wow, this is incredible. And this throws out of the window this myth of the actor who, masters everything. There's this false, um kind of like people usually, and I've learned that from talking to other people. They believe that once an actor is famous, he's mastered his craft. He doesn't need to keep in touch with acting teachers and everything. He doesn't need training. It's just everything is inside. And it's not true, because us actors, we talk to dialect coaches, we talk to so many of these people who help us make these performances great. And the fact that you're so open about it is amazing. And I wanted to ask you about something: is what do you think are the qualities that made you continue to work in this industry and book jobs?
Well, like my coach says, and both my coaches, Deb Podowski and Karin, I didn't get to play sports when I was a kid. I treat this like this is my sport.
Mm.
This I'm an athlete in a way. Athletes who train for the Olympics don't just train when they're going to the Olympics. They can
Yeah.
train continuously. They're always training. They don't give up. They're top athletes. NBA players, LeBron James. Does
Mm.
he's a champion. How many times has he won a championship? Does he stop practicing because he's a world champion? No, he doesn't. He goes harder because of where he's at. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
that's what it is. Now I'm at where I'm at. I got to keep going hard. You know what I mean? I don't have time to kick my feet up and relax. And that's what it is. My motivation is strong. The fire in my belly is burning. I see what I can do now. I'm just getting through the door right now. This is the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is exciting for me. I am not giving it up. I got this game in a chokehold, and I'm going to strangle it.
Wow, this is incredible. Do you have like big inspiration, like actors you keep thinking about that really made you think, oh, I gotta be like him if I really gotta work in the industry? People that have inspired you?
Yeah, a lot of musicians though,
Okay.
like a musician who really actually who really forced me to get my butt, who really influenced me. It was the late Hermes Ashkedon, Nipsey Hussle,
Mm.
who was taken way too early. He was very influential. He was very positive. Uh, so sad that that happened to him early. But when that happened to him, I was really like, wow, life is really, really short. You know what I mean? And just the messages that he put out resonated with me, So within a month of him passing away, I had an agent. I was already almost like 2 months. I had booked my first gig, and it was on that year that I was on my journey. You know what I mean? So, lots of artists, and it just like I just realized, don't take your time for granted. A lot of my friends have passed away early who didn't get a chance to like live their dreams or do the things that they wanted to, So yeah, and just being a fan of the culture, of pop culture, that's all inspiring to me. I soak it all in, and I want to just be a little cog in the wheel. I don't need to make a
Mm.
big old dent, but just put me in there somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. What you're saying is incredible. So you can you actually like when you're on set and you're acting, even if you have dramatic scenes, like intense dramatic scenes, you still enjoy acting, right? Is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, well, those scenes, I think you have to be able to pull yourself back to reality,
Mm.
you know, because the present moment, that's what we have. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to stay in that funky, dark place. You know what I mean? But it's not healthy, right? So I've done so much work coming out of that darkness. I've lived in that darkness. I come from that darkness. I don't like that place anymore. I've done a lot of work to be able to go there, and now I can come back out of it. You know what I mean? And not stay there. And I think I don't know if a lot of people have that problem coming out of. I can imagine what it is to involve your life and immerse yourself for months and a year living that and studying that, like how hard that would be. I've done it for a couple months, maybe, and a couple weeks periodically training, you know what I mean? But to really do that for a role that really takes your soul, you know what I mean? And you put your soul into it, it might be a little bit harder of a struggle, So I think, but there is to help you. So I think just to seek out that kind of help would be, yeah, what you would need to do, and have good people around you, and don't abuse drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, yeah, and well, yeah, it's a really great answer. And I was wondering, I've watched your IMDb list of credits, and I was like, for now, you've been cast in like very like dark roles in the way that they they don't cast you to play the happy young guy. They cast you to play the brooding
Yeah.
guy. And I was wondering, if you could choose where your career goes from now on, would there be a genre you're excited to explore that you haven't explored that much?
Yeah, I like rom-coms. I think they're pretty, like, they're funny, they're good-hearted, they're real, because those are real situations that people have, right? So, and I've done those in my class, and they're hilarious, right? Action movies I would love to do, like those are always fun, you always get in shape, you know what I mean? And it's a little dangerous, and it's something new every day. So yeah, I'd like to do something like that, perhaps. The comedies are so lighthearted and fun, like, yeah. It just, how could you have a bad day on set?
Yeah, and you talk about being in shape, and I would like to circle back to Snake Eyes. Did you have to get in shape? Did you felt like you had to do a physical training? And what was the extent of that training if you did do it?
Um, when I auditioned for that role, I already was in like
Oh, okay.
probably the best shape of my life,
Wow.
you
Okay.
know. Yeah, so when I look at the trailer now, I was like, wow, I was in good shape. I got some work to do, you know. And then so leading up to COVID, after the COVID thing, I didn't really go to the gyms because I didn't, you know, it's hard to work out with a mask. So I've been taking it a little bit easier this last year, right? So but I was in pretty good shape, and thank God I was, because Mojo Rawley, the WWE wrestler, the other guy in that scene, is a beast. You know what I mean? And Henry was in great shape too. So I'm glad I didn't go in there all pipsqueak looking. And the winner is, you know. So yeah. So I'm glad I was in top
Wow.
shape for that.
Yeah. Yeah. How long was the shoot for you? The snake eye shoot. How long was it?
It was 2 days for me.
Oh, okay.
It was 2 days, and it was about an hour drive from my house each day. So yeah, it was great, but it was a nice drive, and there were long days. They were
Yeah,
long. They
yeah,
were like 12,
yeah.
13-hour days, but yeah, I didn't want to leave. I wish I had more.
Yeah. No, I totally understand you. I was on set not so long ago in these amazing projects. You just want to be immersed in those amazing worlds, and this is amazing. And how long was the shoot of Turner and Hutch for you?
That was one day. It was actually, so that was in the COVID times. That was back in
Oh,
October 2020. I filmed it. Yeah, so I filmed it from a Zoom call like this. I don't know if the director was in LA or something, perhaps. But I booked it off a Zoom call, and it was only a 4-hour day there. So they were kind of in and out. They were still in the middle of it. They weren't really sure what was really, how safe or unsafe things were. So
wow.
yeah, they just kind of got you in and out, and yeah, it was great. 4 hours a day.
Yeah. Did working during COVID? I've talked to a lot of actors who had different, various degrees that have very different experiences with it. And from what you're saying, shooting through Zoom, was it a new exercise for you? Did you find it complicated in a certain way, or actually maybe more easier? I don't know. How did you find the
Oh,
experience?
I just did the audition through Zoom, but I actually filmed on set. So you're saying, is that what you're
Yeah, no,
asking?
I'm
Like,
sorry, like auditioning through Zoom. Sorry.
oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure that we had clear
Yeah,
communication.
sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all good, man. No, it was fine because I had been doing the Zoom classes, acting classes, so it kind of really prepared
Oh,
me. So when it
mhm.
came, I was like, oh, I was already comfortable with it. I didn't feel weird or anything. It wasn't new or foreign or anything like that. It was just talking. It was just no different. It's actually a little
Mhm.
bit easier because you're in the comfort of your own home, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Do you prefer like doing self tapes to real audition, or you don't have any preference?
I like doing the self tapes now because you can do them over and over and over again. There's no pressure from anybody there, So I kind of like it, but the pressure's on if you get that call back. You don't have 20 takes to do it.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I like it that way, but I miss it. I do miss it. I miss the human interaction of it, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Man, you have been amazing, and I actually took more of your time that I demanded. Thank you so much, Derrick. It was an amazing blast. Honestly, you're just so full of energy and so positive. It's so great to talk to somebody like you,
Oh, thank
especially
you, man. I really appreciate it.
and especially here it's like 10 p.m. and having somebody just so energetic and give me such great answers. It's honestly, I'm gonna sleep happy. Just know that. Thank you for
Oh,
absolutely everything, and thank you for doing this. It's always, I'm always shocked that anybody accepts to do any these Zooms things with me.
man, I'm shocked that anybody wants to hear my little story. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? Oh, somebody wants to hear from me? Okay. Oh man, I'm equally as grateful and blessed and honored and appreciative. Like, thank you so much for taking the time and yeah, and it's a great interview, man. You're awesome. You're killer. You're killing it. Yeah.
Honestly, like I only wish you good things in the future, and I know you're gonna work in the industry. I mean, I've seen your mindset, like I've seen how you adapt to things, and I can only see success in your future, man. You're just that kind of person, and thank you
Oh,
again, man. And man, like honestly was honestly one of the best moments of my day. I can say that, and thank you.
Really? Oh, that's sweet, man. That's sweet. That
Yeah,
makes my day.